Live from the podcast rooms in Glasgow, it's all about the Gers with Ricki Neill, Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller.
Hello and welcome to the All About the Gers podcast. It's myself, Ricki Neill, joined by two special guests. We get Derek Ferguson
and Charlie Miller.
And Charlie Miller.
As I say, Charlie Miller's changed a wee bit, boys, but listen, still getting the drink on. So
Still getting it.
Where's your Fosters?
Oh, it's on its way. I'm just wanting dial booze there, boys. It's like, oh, mate, going to go full Charlie.
We Charlie can down a couple of cans and just keep the ball up for fun at the same time.
Do you know
That's a talent, isn't it?
we've still got a box of Fosters in Lounge 72 from, and I've got a box in my house.
Oh, well, I'll be heading down to
I was going to say, we could do anything up there. I mean, you've dragged me all the way in here.
Anyway, before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you once again to all our sponsors: ISG Resin Flooring Specialists, DB Dental Care, Giant C Architectural Limited, and Plugged In IT Business Solutions. It's excellent to be back after a short holiday. As you can hear, my voice is still kind of
Aye, all right for some.
done in.
Let it colour you.
You were on holiday as well?
I was not on holiday.
Oh, you were visiting your son.
No, I never made it.
Did you not go?
No, I'm not going into all the details. My missus made it, but she made it, but she only saw 10 minutes of the game. Her flight was delayed a wee bit.
Okay.
I never made it. Unforeseen circumstances. That's what we'll say. Right? That's as good as
You got a lock in, that's what he's saying. He got a lock in at the pub and he couldn't make it. How was
The
that?
weather was dreadful there in Bologna anyway, but look at the colour of you.
I know.
I had an amazing time, but I was saying to you earlier, it was like John Hill, who owns the Flower of Scotland bar. It was his 20th year anniversary. And honestly, I was walking about the wee market on the Tuesday and I met a Rangers fan. He's like, Ricki, what's this like out here? It's like a European trip. There must have been about 400 Rangers fans at it. It was brilliant.
Just going over just because it's the 25th year anniversary.
Well, do you know what? I'd actually booked it. I think I told you this the other week. I'd actually booked it. I said to my missus, when's your next holiday? She was like, February the 26th. She's like, how I'm going to? And I was like, I'm going to book a wee cheap holiday. So I didn't even type in destination or anything like that. I just typed in like where we want to fly
Rangers pub. Rangers pub, Spain.
Rangers pub in the sun.
and then I just said, oh, there's a wee thing in Fuerteventura. Do you want to go there again? She's like, all right. And see, an hour later, John Hill actually texted me saying, don't suppose you could do some of my graphics for my 20th year anniversary. I was like, when is it?
I'll do you one better. I'll turn up.
It was like, it's the 26th of March, February. I was like, you're kidding. I was like, I've just booked this. And he was like, oh, Leachy's gone or no? And I was like, you're kidding. So I text Leachy and I was like, you taking the missus? And he was like, oh, no. I'm taking all my mates for his birthday.
Yeah. You dealt with the shorts though?
No, I have to admit, it was excellent. So it was, because we met loads of amazing people over there. We shout out actually to Andy and Jennifer and we Ryan and Andrew and Natasha, because that's a family I actually know. I knew their mum and I knew their gran. Oh, I didn't know their mum. I didn't know their gran. I met their mum. I
was a backtrack here, man. Straight away.
I made a right buzz up for that. But no, it was excellent. And the wife knew her, and then we met Jane. Loads of people. It was brilliant. Just an excellent week. But I ended up doing 2 wee gigs over there as well. So I was doing some party songs and
there you go.
done a wee
You were on
couple
holiday.
I know.
And you end up working.
Does the Spanish tax office know about you earning over there?
No, I was paid in free drinks, so it was excellent. But and Colin Steen and wee Bud were there as well.
Right, you were telling us
They were excellent. I sat down.
Did they behave themselves too? No.
I'll show you some videos later.
They're brilliant together. See, and I don't. I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but see when you see them up on stage, and they are good. They're very good. But see when they're off the stage and you're just sitting in their company, amazing. They're hilarious.
It's because they're no
sometimes
they
just relax a wee bit more with you. You know what I mean? And they're and a dynamic duo. They two, by the way. Is he still puffing away, wee Willie?
I didn't see him puffing.
Oh, come on! He likes his fags, so he does. So we half pint.
Always a half pint. Aye.
Steenie, she on the red wine?
He was in the red wine. Aye.
He's always got a big red lips, isn't he?
He was in the karaoke, or not?
My dad's hero, Colin Steen.
Aye.
My dad absolutely adored him, so he did. And it's funny because I love wee Willie Johnson.
Aye.
When I was going to at the end of his career, obviously at Rangers, I used to love going to watch wee Willie. That wee knocks it past the defender. That wee 5 yards, change of pace, and then brilliant crosses in.
They see their love for football still. See every game that was on, any game, we were wanting to be in that bar to watch.
Because they're betting.
This is on it.
Sometimes they'll just bet amongst themselves, you know. But it's just,
they're class.
but every so often you just think, God, I'm sitting with like two legends here,
I know.
and we're all steaming. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. But no, it was a great time. But Stuart, thanks again for joining us. We're going to talk about your show later on, which was amazing.
Thank you.
Myself and Charlie went. Derek couldn't make it at the last minute.
I know.
But,
Unforeseen circumstances.
Just following him.
It was amazing, but unfortunately, in fact, before we talk about football, remember we done the charity walk a couple of weeks ago, the M.A. Smiley Foundation. So it was Stonefield Tavern, lunch summit to Gartcraig Inn and the Bristol Bar. They all raised £40,000.
That's unbelievable.
Amazing. You know? And that was just a small group of Rangers fans, so it's amazing what they can do when they all kind of pull together in it.
Brilliant.
But unfortunately, we're going to need to talk about the old firm since we missed.
Right, Stuart, this for you, come in.
So this is where...
Can we swear?
You can fucking do what you want.
Okay, how long we got, boys?
It's done, man. Nothing. Honestly, I've not recovered. Right, let Stuart as a fan.
Stuart.
What can you say? What honestly, like I'm the type of Rangers fan that goes into an elf firm every time, regardless if I'm or at all, we're winning it. We need to win it. As much as you can be realistic about it and go, right, Rangers are maybe transitioning a wee bit with a new manager and stuff like that, and Celtic are some sort of fucking powerhouse right now. You still can't help but think we're going hell for leather here and we're going to do it. Nothing. It's that wee Kyogo. I mean, like, what the difference between your Kyogos and your Moreloses and stuff like that? See, if you're only playing Morelos up front, 9 times out of 10 you'll see Morelos floating about the 20 yard, 18 yard box. There's nobody in there for that killer instinct. See, if I've got 2 up front, then maybe we could do something like that, but Morelos is really getting himself into positions, whereas your Kyogo, target man, poacher, right there, we're getting none of that, and we pay the price for that. I don't know. I was driving in when I was driving in the other night. It was a Super Scoreboard, and they were kind of talking about it as well. And they were just saying, "What do you do with this? Like the players we've got, your Barisics and your Lundstroms and your Kents and your Kamaras and your Moreloses, they're just not setting up anymore. You've got Celtic, who, as I say, is this steamrolling, they're this powerhouse now, and we are not playing. We're just playing catch up, and we're getting absolutely nowhere near them now."
I think the realisation hit that it's time for change. But what we've got to acknowledge as well, it was a collective thing, even with the manager. I hope you would agree with me. He put the wrong team out.
That's why,
you know, that it's well documented because a lot of people spoke about it. But when I was going to my game, and then I heard, you know, the team, I was shocked, you know what I mean, because I was thinking Raskin and who else, and I was thinking maybe Ryan. Well, I was thinking Ryan Jack in there because I think they needed a wee bit of protection because of our fullbacks in terms of Barisic and Tav, who aren't great defensively, are going to go forward. We need somebody to plug the gaps, but in terms of that, you know, surprised at the choice of player, you know, that he put out in the park, but. When you go up against a Celtic and you're talking they're a powerhouse, what they are is that, yep, they're a very good side. They're very well organised, but they're fit. And I think on that day, and this is the thing that kills me, is that they run further than us, they run harder, and they run quicker. That's unacceptable. You know, we at least, you know, the quality that we've got, and what you're saying, Stuart, you've always got the belief you can beat Celtic. Of course, that's why you're at Rangers, because you're a good player. But in terms of our fitness, we're off at big time. So I think we've got a bit stale as well. I think it is time for change. I had a chat about that at the weekend, and there's a number of players. I think their Rangers career, I think it's time up. We thank them. You know, they've done very well for us, but I think the manager knows that as well. I think he obviously can't come out and say things because we've got a Scottish Cup to win, to retain, right? So he'll know behind the scenes with his coaching staff who will be leaving. There will be a big turnover of players. We need new, younger, fresher, quality players.
You know, I never noticed.
But the cost money.
I never noticed at the time that we actually started with the exact same lineup as we did.
You're going to tell the words right in my mouth.
The game in January.
Aye. See the League Cup final where was it Julian? Celtic player 1-0. See, since then, it said on Super Scoreboard, and when we've bought 27 players. We've bought 27 players since that game. And see that game right there. We still had the same seven starters that started that game. Still started that game there. So what does that tell
And
you?
he brings Cantwell and Raskin to the club, you know, to play in these games, and then for him to have them on the bench. It was mind-boggling, to say the least. You know what I mean? Even what kind of message does that send out to the players? But the other thing was, Lundstrom didn't look fit. Obviously, he was carrying an injury. Tillman wasn't fit. He looked leggy. You cannot go up against a Celtic midfield, Hattati, McGregor and Moy, if you're not 100% fit. Now, then, that's down to the manager. But sometimes I think there is an onus on the player. Every player will probably go, I want to play, even if they're not quite 100%. But the conversation, or the one-to-one between the manager and the player, you know, should have resulted in the guys being on the bench, maybe being used later on. You need to start with 11 men that are absolutely at it, physically and mentally against themselves.
Derek, there's Ernie Boyle saying, come on, Derek, you were a player. They just didn't attack them at all.
Didn't attack because we didn't have the legs to attack them. We couldn't get about the park in the midfield. Me as a player, you always talk about the midfield battle, try to win that, you know, and in there you've got to be at it right away. And we weren't. I mean, you look at their goal, the first goal, it's actually embarrassing to watch the way Tillman reacts, the way Lundstrom reacts, Kamara jogging back. It was incredible. Then you look at you pick the bones out us defensively. Golson's caught out of position a wee bit. Davies should get across to the front post, and Barisic should be coming in where Kyogo is. We don't. It was an absolute. But it's that reaction. It's that kind of being switched on. But it's also the fitness and having the legs, running power. They run harder than us.
Well, that's what John Keane's saying. You can't play players who have not played in weeks or are carrying injuries.
I agree with that.
And I was so surprised. Like we were saying how good the other week Kamara was playing, but it was when he was playing with Cantwell and Raskin.
And then he changes it.
Then he doesn't. Lundstrom's not been out for a week. You know, it totally changes the setup, doesn't it?
Obviously, you think to himself, right? So what's the mentality here? Is he thinking to himself? Obviously, the wrong choices are what Derek said. But does he think to himself he needs players with experience in that game? Is that what he was thinking? Which is absolutely ridiculous, because regardless, how do you expect these players to get experience in these games? Chuck them right in the deep end. They're here to do a job. If they're playing for Glasgow Rangers, they're going to be good enough to do it. And for the past 3 or 4 games you've had them, they've proven themselves to be starting 11 players, and then he doesn't use it, and then we get beat.
I just think the two boys, Raskin and Cantwell, I think they're confident boys. I think they're confident in their own ability, and they would have loved that the opportunity to start in that game. And I don't think for 1 minute they would have let us down.
You see it? I mean, like that Cantwell is constantly on his social media sitting saying how much he's loving playing football here, how much he's really get his spark back. Even the game with Kilmarnock there, he was showboating a wee bit a couple of times. Brilliant. I mean, you've got a boy there that's brimming with confidence. Chuck him in a cup final, you know what I mean, against our biggest rivals. The boy would have ran right.
You mentioned Stuart Morelos. What was your take on him?
So this is what I was saying about Morelos. So listen, as much same as every Rangers fan, like there was a time and a place where everyone has loved Morelos.
Absolutely.
Still got him in my heart. Still love the guy. But his work rate isn't there anymore.
20 minutes he gave us, Stuart, in my opinion. I mean, we've all got our own opinions on it. For the first 20 minutes, watching it, I was going like that and going, yep, that's what we want. But he's not got the fitness level to keep it going.
Exactly. And the positions he finds himself in, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times if you watch him, he's no the target man striker. He doesn't play that role. He's more of a Honda player. You see him floating about 18, 20 yards. And then when we're pushing forward, there's nobody to put it back in there. And that's where Celtic have got the upper hand, because they've got the players that can do what Morelos is doing, and then have your poacher banging the goals in. I mean, they two Kyogo goals were tap-ins. I mean, right place, right time. Exactly. It was McCoy special. We don't have that.
Aye. I mean, Stuart's took the words out my mouth. At a point in time, I absolutely loved and adored Morelos. At the minute, no for me.
No.
I find it hard to even talk about him and go in terms, because I think he's had enough chances. We've said this, I think, many moons ago. I don't think he actually realises. I know he gives it all that, and the chestnut. He'll not realise, until he's away, what he's passed up.
Aye.
He should be switched on every day. But because the fans we all love him, and we all have loved him. But even his antics coming off that park. Because we get back, he gets a goal, obviously. He's going off the park, he spat the dummy. Now, I would be, if you're going off the park, couple of the other boys go, we can get this back, a wee bit of encouragement, get a G up, but then he walks off, he spat the dummy, he kicks something to the side of the park, wee bit of dissent. That's not a good look, and it's not good for other boys sitting on the bench. And that's so, and it was so frustrating, but the thing is, we've got to acknowledge, we're behind Celtic at the minute. And for Michael Beale, and he knows himself, he's got a tough job ahead of him, but he needs batting. No. Is
that the weekend catching up?
It's the dodgy vodka I was drinking, I think. No, we're actually going to come to Morelos later on, but David Morrison online saying with too many players who know they will start, they have lost leagues, we need big money spent.
And that's,
we need competition.
Because I think we've went stale. I think we need a turnover. A younger, fresher, players. But sometimes, we can't just be looking about for basement bargains. We've got to spend to get the quality in because, what Celtic are doing at the minute, we've got to bring the quality in. But younger players, that probably at a certain time that we can sell on. So it's such an important summer. So it is. But before we get to that, to say we have still got a Scottish Cup, so you've got to keep them on board until such, So, but it's a massive summer. So it is.
We don't normally talk about the board or things like that on the show. But there's a lot of people actually commenting in the group chat. So we had Gary Payton saying, lads, do you agree with Union Bears? So the Union Bears had a big banner up saying after 55 titles, you took your eye off the ball, time for a change, and they had Stuart Robertson and Ross Wilson in the big, get them out basically. Ross Wilson's getting slated big time, obviously, because he's run the contract down Kent and Morelos. Is it time for guys like Kent and Morelos to leave the club?
When it comes down to exactly what we're kind of saying about Morelos here as well, you were seeing that in Kent at the end of last season, that lack of, for all the ability the boys got, it looked as if, not that he was lacking confidence, that he was done. He just couldn't be arsed anymore. Beale comes back, you've seen a wee slight spark in him again, but we're not seeing these players play the way they did 2 years ago. I mean, that's 2 years tomorrow that we won 55, and we're still trying to get these players to replicate what they done that season. We need to move on. This is simple as well. How many chances are we going to give them? They're pulling that jersey on week in, week out. Exactly what we're saying about Morelos, about he's not going to know what he's got until it's gone. What more chances are we going to have to give these people? When it comes to Kent, I don't think he's done enough to prove a proper new contract. Maybe give him a rolling year, maybe something like that. A rolling year, you get that out of Chippy. Things like that. With Morelos, I'd take Morelos out the door, to be honest with you, and that pains me to say that. But if Kent had to follow suit as well, I don't when they keep me on it either.
It's the only thing that the relationship he's got with Beale, I think it's a special relationship. Obviously, he's new. Michael Beale's knew him since he was a laddie, at 13, 14. So that's a difficult one. I agree with you on Morelos. I think he's in enough opportunities, and I think it's time for him, to go. But and that's what I'm saying. He'll look back and think, what a mistake I've made here.
Right, Derek, just going back to you, Jurgen there. What you thought about the reaction from Morelos? Here's Curry Muncher saying, Derek, need to disagree with you on that one. Is that not exactly how?
What's his name?
Curry Muncher. He's a regular on the podcast. But he's saying, Derek, need to disagree with you on that one. I know exactly that's how you would have reacted if you had just scored and get taken off. You would have went tonto.
No, I wouldn't have, because it's a team game. It's not about the one individual, and that's what I think. It's even split in my house with a couple of my older boys. We've got a different opinion on Morelos. I just think over the last number of years, I think he's, and this is my own opinion, I think the nick that he's been in and the way he's reacted to certain situations, it's been disrespectful to the rest of the group and the rest of the squad, because when we have got a fully fit Morelos, it's absolutely flying, that's at it, hey, this is why I've just said it earlier, Stuart, we loved him, but he ain't. He's a pale shadow of that guy he was a number of years ago. We can't carry people. We have got to, if we're going to challenge and win league titles, League Cups, Scottish Cups, we have got to have players that are absolutely bang at it, but that are team players, that are no individual players. And to me, Morelos at times, even this season, it's as if it's about him. It's not about him. It's about the collective. It's about everybody. You know, and that's where the frustration comes from me. But I get what the Curry Munchers say because one of my boys in the house loves him. Can't see past that. But that's fine. But that's why we're on here, because I've got my opinion.
Aye.
Stuart's got yours. Ricky, you've got yours.
I'll agree with Derek there, though, to properly back that up. I mean, he's coming off there. He's coming off about 70 minutes there and kicks on, goes off his nut. He's had 70 minutes today, son, and never done a thing. The goal came for a set piece that landed at his feet. It's as simple as that. So he had 70 minutes to be Morelos and score as a goal or do something that helps the team. You hardly seen him do anything that helped the team. So him coming off and from the dummy, I totally agree with Derek. They're saying, what are you raging about? You've just had 70 minutes of a cup final. Know what I mean? That's really it.
Alex Kelly online saying over 7 new signings, they've only been available for 43% of our games this season. Keeping players fit has been a huge hindrance for a manager this season.
There's a lot of speculation, you know, behind the scenes with the medical side. You know what's happening. We don't know in terms of when the guys are picking up knocks, their rehab. You know, of course we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I mean, what's happened with Lawrence? You know, initially we were thinking he's out for 2-3 weeks, then that becomes a couple of months, and he's broke down his rehab. So I don't know. I don't know how the medical people are.
He's not coming back until pre-season.
And by the way, good. I think we all acknowledge he's a good player, Lawrence. But what has happened in his rehab? You know, even look at Suter as well.
Just
he's come back. You know, should he have played in that AstroTurf Park at Livingston? Absolutely not. You know, with the history injuries that he's got with his calf and his ankle, Hadji as well. We've got to be careful with him. He's coming back. So there's numerous boys, you know, that have struggled to come back for what looks like something that could be like 6 weeks out. Normally, like a hamstring or something the other day, you know, a calf. 6 weeks and you're back in. These guys are out for long term. I
mean, how many minutes has Suter played for us?
Livingston game. That was that. At the start of the season.
He's been here a year.
And see, the other one getting back to I was gobsmacked when Roof come onto the game at Livingston on that park again. You know, AstroTurf, if you've got anything, kind of any weakness in your body, playing on that surface brings it out. So if you've got a calf, a hamstring, whatever, you know. So why he even played in that game? You know, and I couldn't believe it that after that, sitting in the stand again.
Is that the job of the medical staff to say to Michael Beale he shouldn't be playing on Astro, or is it up to the
Well, they've got all the data and all that, you know, and they know how hard they're working. But when you've got certain, I mean, we've already got the likes of Ryan Jack as well. I've got to sometimes be careful with him, you know, because his calf injury that he's got. So I think that's where they come in, the sports science, the medical team, and you just kind of nurse them through it.
Even that, though, I mean, how many players is that name? I've got injury prone. You know what I mean? We've got about 5 or 6 first team players there that I know can they're out. You've just, you know what I mean? You've just rhymed off there about 4 or 5 potential starting 11 players that we haven't seen, but they're all injury prone. Now we have to look after. I mean, the Scottish game's a hard knock game. We all know that. So, I mean, why are we doing then? Why are we looking down these avenues of these players if I know full well? I mean, looking back at it, as it says, Suter, that's mental. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even get his chance and he's out the door. And I'm like, well, what was your Rangers career? Nothing. That was it.
And listen, there's still loads of people in the chat talking about the board and things like that. And Stuart Gibson was on this Ibrox podcast a couple of days ago, and he actually he basically thinks Stuart Robertson, James Bisgrove, and Ross Wilson. He believes that they all get a lot of undeserved flack. Derek, what do you think about
Ross Wilson?
Aye,
recruitment.
Aye,
I just think our recruitment's been great. I mean, that's what's recruitment. A football club is absolutely massive. But you're talking about injury. Certain players have came to the club. It's got to be a question mark there because of their history with injury. So do you go down that road, or do you go look for somebody else that can play X amount of games a season? You're looking at least 25 to 30. The quality of a player that's come in as well. Matondo's come in. Lawrence, I like Lawrence. Yilmaz, there's another one. He's been out.
You pulled that one out the bag here, didn't he?
But then again, when I watched Yilmaz obviously coming in for Barisic, you know, and Barisic is no my cup of tea. It's well kind of documented between us and here. I don't know if he. I mean, it remains to be seen. I don't know if he's suited to your game. You know, when I watched him, he looks decent going forward. We need proper defenders. So we do. I think if you're a defender, you defend first and foremost. If you've got a wee bit more going forward, that's an absolute bonus. But in terms of recruitment, I don't agree with that. I think the recruitment could be in a hell of a lot better.
Even reflecting on that, as I said earlier on, that's 27 players we've bought in the space of a year and a half, 2 years. So that shows you why we're on the back of Ross Wilson. 28 players, and we're still behind him. I mean, we've not got a squad rotation that we're after. We're wanting. All these players are on the payroll, and we're getting no games at them. We're getting nowhere.
Hopefully, we'll get the signings that Michael Beale's wanting.
Well, that's it, because obviously the manager is probably knows, you know, a number of players that he wants to bring to the club. So that's where he needs the backing of the board. Michael, you can see the type of football he wants to play, and I've been impressed with Michael Beale. Right, and I think what I liked about him, he was actually acknowledging that he made a mistake in the final with the team he put out. He's gutted about that. You can actually see, and you listen to his interviews and that. But he wants to play a certain brand of football. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning football. And I think if he's allowed and gets the backing and is allowed to spend a few bob in certain players to bring, at least give him that opportunity. You know, because as I say, he's came here, he's been under pressure. He's under pressure at the minute. He's getting a bit. He's a big boy. He can take it in his shoulders, but we need to back him. So we do.
Well, Michael Beale, I think it was the day of his presser, and he basically was asked about it. You know, about the Union Bears doing the thing about the 55 titles, and he says, "Listen,
they're entitled to their opinion.
They're entitled to their opinions. You know, 100% of the time you love the club, and then there's times where you don't hate them, but you know what I mean. But
we're all like that.
Exactly.
That's the three of us in
parcel,
here. You probably have different opinions in that. That's the beauty of football.
Well,
but at the end of the day, we just want the best for our club. That's it.
Well, that's what he said last night about Liverpool. They were talking about Liverpool game and just saying how it was. Like,
I know there's another. At least Rangers scored against them.
They said everybody aligned. You know, the fans aligned. They said the staff aligned and everything aligned. He says so when that happens at Rangers, he says, and you always get the fans at Ibrox. You always get them singing anyway. You know, but when you've got them all aligning, so.
And I think it has kicked off a bit, and then that's when I need to give myself a wee slap because. But it was such a big game, that League Cup final.
100%.
When he's come in here, I mean, we've got to remember, he came in when we were well behind in the league, you know, so it was a tough ask to play catch up. But I was putting all my eggs in the one basket because I did firmly believe we were going to turn up and we were going to win that because it was such a huge game. And because we didn't, and because we were so disappointing, that's how it's been hard to take.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go away. I never even went out the door. There you go, for a week. I've not done that for years. There I have. I didn't want to go. I didn't even want to go down to the gym. Didn't want to be seen in the gym. Some of the older guys that I sometimes see. Do you want to know why? I felt embarrassed. Do you know that? And I don't know. It's like, but these guys have the punters. I know because you've got to turn up to work, can't you? Yeah. You know, and facing music. Aye, it's hard. So it is.
Just come back to what you were saying about the 27 players. Alex Kelly saying, Stuart, of those 27 players signed under Wilson, 9 have been punted for being not good enough, and only Bassey can be considered a success. I can't even say a success.
You can't even say that, I know.
Put the teeth back on.
Our trading model has failed, so maybe it is time for a change. But we'll move on for that because we've been talking about the board too much. We're actually going to move on to you, Stuart.
Good.
Oh, aye.
And before we talk about the Kilmarnock game, but obviously I was at your show, which was amazing.
I never got a chance to speak to you after it. You enjoy it?
Oh, it was amazing.
You have a good time?
It was amazing.
Good stuff.
Well, I went with...
Well, they were complaining
Charlie,
about
I heard about it.
the price of a pint.
So, by the way, so is that. I see at the end of it, I'm not kidding on, right? So, see at the end of it. So, after the show you went to, that was the last one. So, at the end of it, we had to get all the shit out. So, I'm fucking there humping.
Stuart, I can't believe that. The boys told me that.
Oh, you know. I say, fucking self-made man here.
See, that's so that's actually like Ryan Jack and whatever carrying the hampers and all that.
Aye. So I'm fucking.
See, I love that. I love a wee bit of that.
I'm not even like fucking. People are walking by me. I'm still ringing, sweating because it's like 10 minutes. 10 minutes after I came off that fucking stage, I'm right. Get that transit up here, and I'm right. There's people walking by that they just been to the show, and somebody says to me, "$7.90 a pint." I'm like, fucking $7.90 a pint. By the way, well, sure, hand me up that bit of fucking wood. £7.90 a pint. I couldn't believe that at all.
But did you not hear about the pints as well? If you take your cup back, you get £1 back.
What? No, do you know what? In true staunch fashion, the main thing I heard about was the fact it was green cups. That's right. What the fuck's these green cups all about, Stuart? But I was getting all the shite as if it was me, Stuart. Stuart was going on with these green cups. £7.90 a pint.
It's funny because Charlie phoned me before it and said, right, where are we meeting? I was like, I don't really know anywhere about in Finiston. They're all quite fancy pubs and all that. So we went to this wee pub and same thing.
He's
like, Ricki, I've just came for a Weatherspoons in Cambuslang, which is £2.50 a pint. You know, for a round of three, it was like £18.
Honestly.
The show was excellent. How did you think it went?
Listen, the full thing, I was trying my hardest to. I'm shite at poker, right? So I've got a terrible fucking poker face. But that entire thing, you need to remember, that went from an idea in my head to fucking on that stage in 6 months.
Incredible.
You know what I mean, there's people out there that have been doing this for years and years and years, and it takes them another couple of years to get something up and running. I went for, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, to fuck it, we're doing it. So there was a lot of it was with the ass skin, with the skin in your ass, and even up to that day, even up to 20 minutes before on the Friday, 20 minutes before we went on stage, the SCCC came up to me like, you haven't got your license to do your songs. I'm like, well, what the fuck do I do now? And we're running about trying to get everything sorted and that, and even going on, even the full rehearsal and stuff like that, like this is a part and parcel of the people who I got involved in it. I get proper professionals involved in it. So they dragged it through. So even going up that stage, like, the rehearsals, even the dress rehearsal before it, when we're finally, the first time we're actually seeing it all put together, it's a fucking shambles. I'm sitting there going like, how are we going to do this? And we all just pulled it together and went, no, we'll make this work. And we fucking made it work.
Good.
Oh, it was excellent. there was a bit in the show, it's just when your dad was doing his big speech and you were just sitting back on the couch.
Aye. Oh, I wrote myself the easiest part in that show, by the way. I was just sitting on that couch.
I think, I don't know, I think when I was looking at you, you could just see, you know, I've done it.
Aye.
You know,
there was a few times like that, mate, there really was. I'm going be a man enough to admit it. Like, there was a few times I broke down, like, even on the stage, but even the first night, I remember the first night. And again, I didn't have a clue, even up to the day curtains opened. I was like, is this going to work? Are they going to laugh? Is everybody going to, is it going to work out the way it's going to work out? And I remember the curtains opened in the first night, and after we do like we sing song at the start, the show kicks in and it's my dad doing a speech, and he said a line that was going to be the first joke, and it fucking people howled. People started laughing, and that's when I realised this is going to work, and I fucking just busted it.
Do you want to know? Because the boys were telling us, and they says, see the songs, and you said they were belting it.
Aye. Good.
So that's half the battle. Because sometimes people just want to go somewhere, enjoy and sing.
You know, you would have been great at one of the bits. There was a bit where they played Dancing Friends. Oh my God.
There's a very
I'm not good with
that song. There's a bit of that. Taylor made to fuck you right up, by the way.
But you know what I'm like, innit? I do get a bit emotional at times.
But they actually had obviously real photos up of people that have unfortunately passed away, you know, Rangers diehards.
I think that was the best thing to do. I think that was the best touch. Like, I'd seen a couple of Rangers things where they do Absent Friends, and I was like, why? The full show is about the fans. The entire show was about the people who make Rangers Football Club what it is. If it wasn't for the people in the stands, Rangers Football Club wouldn't be a thing. Same with every football club in the world. So I wanted to make a show that was primarily for the people who made Rangers what they are. So when it got to the Absent Friends, but we've got a big screen behind us, I was like, why don't we take advantage of that? So I asked everybody, if you come to the show, you get in a loved one that's passed away, send the pictures to me and we'll make sure they're featured and remembered. So that was a great bit.
That's lovely.
I wouldn't be able to
it was hard.
And again, Absent Friends, Billy Thompson passed away a couple of weeks ago. He was laid to rest today.
Was it? Just today?
Well, at Dildowie, which is incredible, isn't it? So just a young man, about 64 was Billy. You know what I mean? So I'm no good with all that stuff.
No,
I'm a nightmare.
I even had there was pictures of my own family at the end of it as well. So that was hard. But listen, it done its job. It was all about to show people that we're all just one big family and we're all in it together.
Do you know it actually represents most Rangers families, doesn't it? Like,
100%.
You could relate to everything you went through.
Mhm.
No, but no, it was excellent. But
Thank
you've
you.
got big plans for it. It's going forward. It's
I
going,
was-
going places, but you can't tell us where it's going.
I want to tell you, see, I
Oh, I
want
know.
to.
I better keep this shut.
I want to tell you, but there's I can't really say too much, but I'll tell you something. Right now, there's a lot of places where people are wanting it, where the theatres in the area aren't being too nice to us. So it's hard for us to get into these places. So we're trying to find a way around about that as well. And there's another place as well that's very high on the list where there's been a wee bit of a political thing going on in the past 2 or 3 weeks that's kind of stopped us from going over. So we're trying to kind of work around that. Again, we won't name any names, but there's a few fuck-ups.
I think it'll work anyway.
Oh, it would definitely work anyway. But I really wanted to kind of there was 5 places in my head that I thought this is the ideal places to go, and we've got 3 of them. So there's 2.
Some of your clues on Facebook have been
about 20 places in the size of that.
I know, tell him. Well, I didn't do. By the way, I didn't do too good with the clues when I went to Blackpool. It was just a picture of the Blackpool tower saying, "Guess where I'm at."
and the Blackpool football stadium. And all, is it, no?
I made an ass of that. I'll tell you. So I had to get down to Blackpool, right? Right. Long story short, we're coming to Blackpool, right? Okay. But what was I going to say? I went down the night before. So I'm sitting in my house, and this is my full-time job now, right? So I've went for working all day, right? To fuck did I do now? So I'm sitting waiting about. I've got boys help me out doing my tour. And I'm just sitting waiting my ass for them to tell me what's going on. So right, you've got me down Blackpool Tuesday. Right, so I'm sitting going, well, it's Monday. I'm doing fuck all. Fuck, I'm going to Blackpool. So looked up a hotel and I found out you can stay in the Blackpool Football Club. I was like, that's spot on. You can get a view of the pitch, you know? Right? So I was like, spot on. That's the very one for me. Down I get. So I get down, forgetting that at night time in football clubs, they've got the lamps
the heaters
on the thingy, bright orange right through the curtains on it. So I'm fucking sat on. There's no point in me fucking closing the curtains because it was just bright orange through my fucking window on it. So that was a pain. But I'll tell you, son, you ever been down to Blackpool when there's nothing open?
Yes.
Woof.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. That's a ruffian. Aye.
Just couple of streets in. That's
honestly,
be bit tasty.
You better believe it. I spent my entire childhood in Blackpool. That was the holidays. My pals were away to
Same here.
Spain and all that. We were fucking. I think I've stayed in every B&B in Blackpool. Tell you.
You met with John, didn't you? John Parts.
Met with John. So that's
great
what he was a really nice guy. I didn't.
What a place that is.
That's the first time I've ever been in it, by the way.
See that in the summer.
Aye. Well, that's the idea.
Beer garden that they've got. That's brilliant.
I'd never knew that. Aye. So get involved, get your ass done.
So keep on watching Stuart's Facebook and there'll be announcements, big announcements coming soon.
But we're doing Armadillo again. Armadillo's confirmed for next year, but that's fucking ages away. We'll deal with that later.
Is there not another place? Where's other places like Alabama or something?
Alabama? Oh, the Alhambra? Oh, aye, we're going to Alabama. No, some right staunch places there. That was another thing. So Dunfermline was part of the tour. What we were planning on doing was announcing every tour date in one go. I made this big cracking video. See, remember like the video I'd done the first time? You showed it and it was all this. It was emotional and it was brilliant and really got people going. So I was like, right, I'll do another one. Made this thing absolutely cracking. All the tour dates on it, and then found out the theatre in Dunfermline had already announced that we're coming. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to do it now. So we're coming to Dunfermline Saturday the 10th of June, the Alhambra Theatre in Dunfermline.
I know it was something like that.
Aye. The Alabama Theatre.
Alabama Theatre. Right, we'll quickly move on to the Kilmarnock game because we're running out of time already. First half was probably one of the best team performances we've seen. And you know, I was actually sitting, well, I've already said, I was sitting with Willie Johnston, Colin Steen, and the Flibber of Scotland over in Fuerteventura.
Aye, tell us again. I mean, tell us how good it is. Aye.
But they were asking, how could we not play the same passion and pressing and fierce against Celtic the week before?
Well, if I don't how can we not do it against Celtic? How can we do it? But how can we couldn't do it for 2 halves this time?
This time, I know.
You know what I mean? That's the big question. Doesn't matter about Celtic last week. How come I can't do it for 90 minutes?
Aye.
So
it's 2 totally different halves,
and I agree with Stuart because that's the frustration. You know, brilliant in the first half, but then we're off it in the second half. It's about, and I think we've got to mention them because, Stuart, see if that is a Celtic, they're relentless at the minute.
Aye.
They would have kept that going. So we've got to keep their standards up, but that's down to the players. You know, they've got to drive each other on, but it's as if they've settled for, we've won the game. But you've got to remember, you've got 50,000 punters in that stadium that want more goals, that want entertain, that want to see brilliant football. So and they're paying top dollar for it. So that's where the onus is on them, to deliver. So again, it's a wee bit we needed a good start. We got it, we played brilliant, but that is a disappointment, and it's a big talking point.
Massively.
We've got to be able to do it for the course of the full 90 minutes.
It puts our work rate into question. And
fitness levels again, we come into it.
And even the goal. I mean, the goal that we lost is a typical Rangers goal that we're losing. I mean, that sloppy at the back and just no picking men up. And that's exactly what happened with Kyogo. See, it's the same every time. Your Barisic, as much as I enjoy Goldson, I really do. I mean, he can't do it all himself. I mean, he finds himself relying on people. He needs to have the backup behind him. If a ball goes by him, he's expecting another boy to get it there. No, never.
Yeah.
There's somebody always in between them, losing too many of the goals.
So standards. They met the standards in the first half. You've got to deliver through the full 90 minutes. That's what the manager wants. That's what the fans want as well. They want that full on, that commitment, everything. If they're not doing it, change them, get them off. And it's great with the 5 subs rule as well. There must be guys on that bench champing at the bit. Get them on. So that's as good as the first half. We're still disappointed, and that's where the big question mark is.
Yeah, by the way, I've realised you've wrote down that as well, just in case you do forget that you were in Forteventura at the Flyer of Scotland. He's even wrote it down.
Well, do you know, I was about to tell you a funny story there, because obviously they two always slag the size of my head, right? And it's Ernie Boyle just said, your head looks bigger when it's tanned, right?
Let the shine coming off that, by the way.
But see, when I was over there, I had my famous black cap on, right? See the amount of people come up and was like, he's a shot your hat there, Ricki. That's going to be my trademark, and somebody's like, look at that, it's like a tent.
That's what we were doing going to Seville, weren't we? We were shining. I was going to say something there.
Tell me after it.
Right, we'll do a quick score prediction then for Wednesday. All right.
That's a tough game as well. So it's because they're flying at the minute, beating Livingston 4-1. So they're in a good place at the minute. Tough place as always.
Right.
And there'll be a wee bit of emotion attached to that game, obviously, what's happened. But it's like, I always believe every game that we go into, just what you're saying in the final, how we can win that. So it will be close. I think it'll be 2-1 to us.
Stuart?
I think I'll stick with that as well. Exactly what Derek's saying. Tough game. They're going to be playing out their skins for the reasons what's happened. Rangers are looking to continue. Understand we losing the Celtic game, but we're still trying to continue that winning mentality that we're kind of getting back. We'll see what happens. But exactly.
And the last time we were in the capital, we produced probably our best performance under Michael Beale. So looking for a wee bit more of the same.
Yeah, I'm going to do one more question, and that's us. But I'm going to say 3-0 Rangers.
Fair enough.
This is for Lee Ramage, and he always does this. He always does the biggest questions ever, right? So, but I just want a quick answer for you too. So he's saying gutted about the cup, but pulling a bit closer to them and winning the League Cup, hopefully versus them, would be acceptable progress for me, given Beale has been given, or he's only been here 3 months. Do you guys think he'll be given adequate pounds backing from the board over the summer to refresh the squad?
Sincerely hope so.
He needs
and
to.
I think the board, they brought him to the club, so they've got to back him. So in the summer, there's going to be a big turnover of players. Back the manager, give him the money. And as I say, you can see the football that he wants to play, but he's got to get his own players in. Yeah.
Sure.
Totally agree. That's exactly it. It's a football club. It needs to move forward. Like, you've got a new manager, and you can't expect. I mean, it'll be the same shite, different flags kind of fucking thing. You get a manager, new manager comes in. You need to give him the chance to bring his own players in and get his own style of football played. To deny him that is shooting yourself in the foot. There's no point in having him there in the first place. So 100%. If they don't, then they need to be your Wilsons. There'll be people battering down the door at Ibrox to take him out themselves. Aye, 100%.
Well, that's us to the end of the show already. But once again, Stuart, thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
You're more than welcome to come anytime you want. Because
as long as we go to the Flower of Scotland bar in Ventura.
Well, do you know what I'm like? Everywhere I go, I try to get a gig. So he's thinking about it.
Is that, have you got a sponsorship or something? Do 2 for 1 Mondays or something and put cocktails?
Do you know, I was telling you guys before, I ended up doing a couple of wee gigs over there. So I done a wee quiz there, but then I had to do a wee bit of DJing and I had
Huddy, by the way, Huddy there.
It was excellent. But John did say to me, if you ever stayed over here, Ricky, you did a full-time job. So
I see the people who like
Well,
go and live
there
in
you go.
places.
here we go. But aye, so just once
Cheerio.
again, thanks again, Stuart, Derek. I know
Derek's a go.
Derek's trying to get here because he's going home to watch Lewis play football. But once again, thanks to our sponsors, ISG Resin Flooring Specialist, DB Dental Care, Giant Seat Architectural Limited, and Plugged In. I was about to say Plugged In Dental Solutions, just Plugged In IT Solutions. All right. Thanks again, and we'll see you all again next week. Take care.
Happy days.
Nice.